I want to start with a question, the difference between invention and innovation. I think a lot of people use those words interchangeably, but there's an important distinction there. What is it?
Yes, and the way I distinguish the two words is that when a new device is invented, it also has to be made available, affordable, and reliable. And that process is innovation. And it's often much harder work than the original invention. Coming up with the first prototype is sometimes the easy bit. Turning it into something that people want and people can afford and that people can get hold of is really tough work. There's a lovely story that Charles Townes, the inventor of the laser, used to tell, which rather nicely illustrates the difference between invention and innovation. He said there's a beaver and a rabbit looking at the Hoover Dam, and the beaver says to the rabbit, "No, I didn't build it, but it is based on an idea of mine."
I love that story. It's quite profound, actually. It's funny, but it's quite profound. Yeah, I think a lot of people come up with good ideas, and then they claim that people stole them, forgetting, as you point out, in many cases, the genesis of an idea spontaneously is in many people's heads at once. And that's often not the hard part. The hard part is the practical side.
And the great innovators were people who realized the importance of the downstream innovation process. So Thomas Edison is the classic example of this. He's one of 21 different people who invented the light bulb, but he's the only one.
You said 21. You said
21.
It quickly. I want to emphasize that because I wouldn't have known that before I read your book. 21. Go ahead.
21 different people deserve credit for independently coming up with the light bulb around the same time. It was kind of inevitable. It was kind of inexorable. The technologies you need to combine to make a light bulb were ripe. They were ready to go. And so Lodygin in Russia and Swan in England and various other people basically had roughly the same idea at the same time, and very little snooping as far as we can tell in this case. Some of these cases of simultaneous invention, which are very common, by the way, some of these cases are based on people snooping on each other's work. But the difference was that Edison realized that in order to make light bulbs reliable, make them last for a long time without going fut, he needed to do a lot of hard work, and he needed to do a lot of trial and error. So he put in a huge number of hours, or got his assistants to put in a huge number of hours testing different materials. 5,000 different plant materials were tried in the Edison factory till they came up with a particular kind of Japanese bamboo that made a beautiful filament that worked really well. That's the kind of thing that Edison meant when he said that invention, but actually he meant innovation. That word wasn't around then. Innovation is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration.